Welcome back for episode 6 of Skeleton Crew, Zero Friends Again. It's like my life. I'm Derek.
I'm Jack.
I'm Whitney.
And this is Han Took Shots First. Chut chut.
She did it right.
She did it right, guys.
She did it right.
Never gets old.
Oh, it will. It will.
People that don't know, it's a joke from the main feed. Well, it will be a coming up joke.
Ah,
Our chillin' just got home.
okay. Yes.
That's
Stop.
enough.
Yeah, no, it's a joke.
I can abide by shitbirds in my TV shows, but not my podcast. This is egregious. I didn't sign up for this.
Oh, yeah. Tune into Bad Movies, Worst People for more of that.
Don't scare them away.
So anyway, we're talking about episode 6 of Skeleton Crew, Zero Friends Again, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
And written again by Myung-Jo Wesner.
She did one of the not better, but like one of the really, really good episodes of Mando. I think it's one of the first ones we get Bo-Katan Kryze and her I think they're called Night Owls.
Yeah, she did. She actually did some of the best episodes of both that and Boba Fett, because she did 3 episodes of Mando. She did the one that introduced Gina Carano, the one that introduced Katie Sackhoff. And well, okay, this other one, half of it's not good. It's the one with Jack Black, but also Christopher Lloyd.
Oh,
But Christopher Lloyd.
You know what? As good as Christopher Lloyd is in that episode, it doesn't save the Jack Black and who is it? Lizzo,
yeah.
And
Lizzo,
then she directed one episode of Boba Fett, which was Chapter 5, Return of the Mandalorian.
No, well, I mean, you know.
So technically she did 4 episodes of Mandalorian.
Yeah. Dude, when my cat's tail is up, it's like a fucking Dianoga from the trash compactor. Because you don't see her body, just her little tail whipping around. She's so restless tonight.
Well, she just doesn't understand. She's like, what's with you sitting in this room all the time now by yourself, just talking?
Like, if this is like a Secret Life of Pets, dude, she's like, dude, my master just sits in front of a light now and screams into it. It is the craziest thing. He's talking about the same stuff, but at a much louder volume now. he just keeps on screaming, I am the greatest. I am the greatest.
But so this one kicks off straight out of the 80s. We get the kids going down the tunnels that they sent themselves into last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The Goonies right away.
Super goons.
Except for they don't really get split up.
Well, they go through. Well, they didn't get split up in Goonies either. They go through different pipes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I meant by split.
I think it was pretty fucking spot on for Goonies.
Yeah.
For some
it just
reason,
wasn't in a skull shape.
It's been a while since I've seen it. For some reason, I was thinking they got split up. Like a couple went one way, a couple went the other way.
Oh, I remember you saying you're not the biggest Goonies fan. Well, at least not like everybody else that sucks its emotional cock.
No, it's a fine movie. It's just overrated.
You're overrated.
He's just not going to be watching it I know people that watch that shit like once a year minimum.
Jack, I'm coming over and we're going to watch that.
Guys, again,
I was one of those people.
I have it on 4K.
Of course you do. It sits right next to your Cynthia Rothrock collection.
No, different shelf.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
It's blasphemous. Cynthia Rothrock next to the Goonies.
Well, they're from different labels. Never mind. I'm not going to get that's a different podcast. I'm like, okay, so this shelf is for
Yeah, we could do an hour on that.
At least. So yeah, basically they get to the bottom and KB's all fucked up. She was worried last episode. They were like, what, are you worried about corrosion? You're fine. Well, turns out they're wrong.
She's not.
And I made a note here because I was like, "Oh, dude, is she a handicap kind of thing going on there?" And
I think so.
Well, no, we find out she is.
Yeah, she had an accident.
We find out there's an accident.
Yeah.
So she can't like, it must be some sort of like neurological thing because she can't control her own body. Maybe she's paralyzed without.
I was
going to
say that. I think she is paralyzed without the implant because she can't use her legs. She can barely use her arms and hands.
She would have been dead.
She can. Don't think she can breathe without this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's why I deleted it from my notes. I'm like, well, they answered that one.
So thank you, Jedi, for saving my life.
Yeah.
But so they're down there dealing with that. We'll get back to the kids in a second, but we'll talk about Jude Law real quick. So he pops out of this little
Jod Na Nawood.
he pops out of this sewer grate, I guess.
Yeah. Why not?
Covered in pearls and gold and all this shit. And of course, all the hotel people are there, and the pirates, including Mr. Urkel.
Gunther.
Real quick. So we had said something, I think last episode maybe, about if there was a possibility of Jude Law being Tack Renaud.
Yeah.
And we kind of dismissed it. But the way the previously on was cut, it kind of gave me that vibe again, because it was like they were showing what happened previously.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about Tack Renaud and how he was the most vicious pirate of all time, and he took whatever he wanted. But while they're doing that, they show Jude Law taking the knife out of the wall that's holding up one of the skeletons.
Yep.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think that Tack Renaud is on At Attin.
No, probably because he doesn't have the money. But
why wouldn't he remember the coordinates? Why wouldn't he know?
Because Smee knew.
Yeah, he didn't know they were in a computer, because it's probably a whole big series of numbers.
No, he had them locked away in his own data port. I think what they were trying to show you is he is the new, like, look at me, I'm the captain now. Like, I take what I want, just like he did.
Maybe
the Onyx Cinder is my ship now.
Okay.
Maybe it's his
That's
father.
my take.
It's his daddy.
His father.
It was his captain, and he's survived everybody else getting killed. Something like that.
Maybe. I don't. Maybe I'm putting my own thing on there. I don't want that to be the case. I want it to be that he's his own, like, riff-raff, street rat, force grab that. I want that to be the case, and I want there to be this mystery of Renaud. Was it Tack?
Yeah.
Anyway, Captain
Renaud
landed on At Attin and blended in with the fucking society. Either became the supervisor or is Wim's mother. I would like something like that.
That would be dope. Still, I'm still hoping it's that.
Yeah, I just thought about it because it was the way they cut the previously on. Just gave me the vibes of them, or they're just trying to make you think that, because that's something that they're leaning into. So
that's kind of what I'm more thinking, but that's me putting my own, like, want on it.
So he does call out 33 to help him. We get a quarter second of Nick Frost in this episode.
Yep.
33 attack. He's like, okay, oh nope, I'm gonna take a little nap.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess Jod wasn't there when that happened back at Tortuga, because it's the same gun they used on him there. They shut him down.
Some sort of little EMP.
Yeah,
makes him EMP his pants.
So some X-Wings come in. X-Wings come in. Pirates try to run away. Some of them die.
Yeah.
Presumably not the ship. Well, we know it's not the ship with Jod and Stephen Urkel on it. So
yeah, his name is Gunther.
Or Gunthy.
His name
I had the subtitles on for the first half.
His name is Urkel.
He's not all snotty. He is
but he does kind of have glasses.
I know he's
only got one
of this.
Yeah, he's getting grovelly.
But you can still hear it in there.
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
I'm a tough pirate.
Did I lose that? It's like a nerdy guy trying to do an impersonation of Clancy Brown. That's what it sounds like. Did I do that? I would watch a lot of video of Clancy Brown doing his take on Urkel, just by the way.
So we'll talk about Jod real quick, because his thing's pretty short. They get back to the pirate fleet or like the space station, and he gets sentenced to death by airlock.
Like a flotilla.
Yeah, it reminded me of the space station in Starfield in the Wolf system or whatever, where the pirates hang out.
Yeah, the den.
Yeah, the den. That's what it was. But yeah, he gets sentenced to death by airlock. But this lady from Orange is the New Black is there, which Whitney pointed out.
It's the old lesbian lady.
So I kind of wondered, and maybe I'm reaching. Do we see a little fucking Jedi mind trick here with Sans hands? Like he was looking at her, and all of a sudden she started like feel that they're making a remorseful face, and I just wondered: is he doing that? Is he putting in her head like, "Hey, you feel bad for me? Invoke this pirate law of equal time"?
Maybe. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but that would make sense. I mean, because you don't have to wave your hand; it just looks cool.
Does
or it looks stupid. I don't know.
We needed that in 1977.
Because I didn't even think about that, but that would make sense because all these pirates want him dead. Why would she save him?
I mean, he even lists off reasons of how he's failed all these people. The Quarren, the chick that looks like a New Zealander named Kona.
Is that the girl, the woman from Hunt for the Wilder People?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it was her.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because we both said the same thing. Oh, okay.
I don't.
Yeah, I guess we did just see her in
Next Goal Wins.
Next Goal Wins.
Yeah,
she's older. Yeah. I thought it was her. But maybe they made her up for that, and I don't know. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember her name, so I just wrote down CPS lady from Hunt for Wilder People.
No child left behind. No child left behind. Yeah, I like how they have the core and they have like the big long the squid face dudes.
Hold on, we're losing you. We're joined by Jack's droid.
I hear it. His augmentins got corroded.
And we're back. Okay, so you were talking about Aurelians.
Quarrens, dude. Quarrens.
I was so close.
No, I was just saying like how he's got they have the tentacles and he's got some of them are tendrils and some are cut off. It's kind of like the fucking pirate equivalent of a peg leg or missing appendage.
Yeah,
like
the guy that had the
other aliens. Exactly. I like that shit.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a cool fucking touch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's adding to the piratiness.
Yeah.
And we love some piratiness.
But so Jude Law gets a chance he gets equal time to basically give his appeal. And he gives this speech about being hungry and how they're just being fed scraps by Brutus and by the universe and whatever.
Well, he's even complimenting Brutus. He's like, Brutus is fucking great, right?
Well, he says he's a great first mate.
Right. But he says if you stay with him, you will continue to get scraps. Like it'll be a constant flow, but it's always going to be scraps. He's doing the best he can. Yeah. I can do better.
Yep. And he tells them all about, the credits and at Attin. He sings a little jaunty pirate tune.
Dope.
Which I did not write down, but.
Do you know it, Jack?
Fuck no. Oh. But it reminded me so much of the Pirates of the Caribbean part where they're all kind of singing it real low at the very beginning of the movie, and really bad eggs. It just was kind of like that, but it's a nursery rhyme about the Captain Renaud.
Yeah, Renaud.
Yeah, so they all agree to go with him just in case there is treasure because they're pirates. But it ends with Brutus holding him up against the airlock, and he's like, if you don't deliver, and he fucking launches a bunch of boxes and shit out the airlock. I'm like, there was probably something in that you needed, but...
Dude, that's all I was thinking. Like, has anyone seen my lunch? It had my name on it. My wife made the most beautiful bantha steak you've ever seen.
Well, it's joined Alderaan in the afterlife, so...
And soon to be Chandrilla.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's where the New Republic is moved to. And that's what gets.
Oh, that's one of the
systems that gets destroyed in 7.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm not 100% sure, but that might be the end of Mon Mothma right there. I'm sure there's a book about it I haven't read. If you guys want me to read the book, buy it for me.
Yes, you can send us money. On Took Shots First at gmail.com.
Or,
I'll read it.
Patreon.
You don't have to. I will.
Oh, yeah. Just join the Patreon. It'll eventually buy a book.
Yeah, we can buy a book with that.
Patreon.com/worst people. Anyway, commercial.
$3.
So that's it for Jude Law's story this episode. The rest of it's about the kids.
Yeah.
KB and Fern get into a fight because, as we know, they're like best friends, little buddies.
They're besties.
But we see it twice in a row here. It's that Fern just doesn't understand when people can't do what she can do. Because she wants to climb up this fucking wall,
cliffside.
Yeah, much like what the Wookiee and Trinity in Acolyte, right? When they had to climb up the outside of that.
Carrie-Ann Moss.
I can never remember her name. Trinity is fine.
Trinity will do. I mean, we're talking about somebody who called the kid from E.T. for an entire fucking episode we recorded.
She wants to climb up the wall and get to their ship. Wim wants to follow these little trash crabs, which
because they're friendly.
These things are adorable. They're like basically they're hermit crabs, but instead of taking shells, they take trash. And one of them has a whole droid leg as a shell.
One of them has like a blender.
That might be a Canton of spice.
And I just like, because he's like, oh, they're friendly, and they're friendly.
Help.
Yeah.
Follow.
I was like, this isn't going to go well. They're just repeating you.
Yeah.
This is as terrifying as a room full of Furbies at night, dude.
Oh, God. Don't.
Follow.
Fern goes to climb. KB says she's going with Wim. And Fern takes Neil with her.
Yeah.
He doesn't volunteer.
But he also didn't want to follow the trash crabs.
No, he didn't.
He did voice that because it was Wim who's like, let's do it. And Neil's like, excuse me, point of order. Dangerous.
Point of order.
You give Neil a set of glasses and you got the whole thing.
When they first approach, I mean, the real actor wears glasses, so it makes sense. When those things first approach him, though, Neil's standing up on top of a rock, like trying to kick him away, like a cartoon of an elephant that's afraid of a mouse.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
So they split up. With Wim and KB, she gets all fucked up. She can't move again. She's like, yeah, my shit's all corroded. Like, you're going to have to help me because I literally can't do anything.
She said it was, dude, when they went down to the salt bath. She said it was going to get corroded. That's why she didn't want to go.
And it's bad when you see it because
it's black.
Well, yeah, she tells him to take this fuse out of her helmet or her head microchip, whatever,
her headgear,
her motherboard in her brain, and she's like, it's that little silver cylinder, and he opens it up and it's straight up rusted out. So I
appreciated this scene though because we get a little bit of that pseudoscience. Like, we know that Star Wars does not follow any scientific thing, so all this is now possible. Because I know somebody watching is like, no, you couldn't heat it up that fast. It would be too hot for his hand. It wouldn't cool that fast. Look at that disgusting little fucking creature. You don't have an Ewok in your house right now. But yeah, I appreciate this pseudoscience of someone like, this is how it works in my mind, and get on board.
I did enjoy, like, I kind of thought that while it was happening, but I didn't question it because, space fantasy.
Exactly. Like George Lucas has said it before, like the shot is more important than the science.
He melts it down and she puts the old one into the sand to make like a little mold for it, which wouldn't work, you would think. But again,
depends on the sand. Science. We don't know this metal. We don't know this sand. We don't know this atmosphere.
Aluminium.
We don't know what kind of augmentation she has in her brain.
Cools off real fast.
But it would, in my head, and it doesn't matter, like I said, but in my head, you pour it in there and it's going to like go into the sand because it's porous. So you're going to have like little spikes on it. It isn't smooth on the outside, but the one thing I wanted to say that I noticed the most was he pours it in there. It cools very fast, which is fine. But the top was perfectly flat.
Well, that's where it stops pouring, Derek.
It's got a little like dome on it while it's red and molten. And as it cools, it just like flattens out and becomes perfectly flat. Again, I don't care. I just noticed it and someone's got to write.
The metal is sentient.
Well, someone's going to go on Reddit and write like a really, really long post about how this is bullshit. Actually, they like this. As far as I know, they like this show. I don't keep up on those guys too much, but
there's a subreddit specifically for this show, and it's primarily positive. Oh yeah. If there's a subreddit for Star Wars, there's a good chance I'm on it. Not telling my username, might have you look up my history.
That's why you have to have multiple
Captain
accounts.
Shabalabix.
Oh my God.
It is Captain Shabalabix.
Holy shit.
But we get the titular line because when she's talking to KB or to Wim about how Fern doesn't listen and all this stuff, she's like, I'm afraid to disagree with her because if I do, then she won't like me anymore and I'll have 0 friends again.
Yeah, that's a
you
sad
can always
line.
just be friends with me and Neil, though. And then KB gets happy.
Like, that's stupid. We're friends. Come on.
And if you guys hear popping in the background, we're recording this on New Year's Eve.
Baby.
So I heard we had one outside, and then I heard one through my headphones from your house, presumably. So
yeah, it's popping off in my neighborhood.
It's Marcus, isn't it? It's your neighbor.
Well, our dog is very unhappy about it. She's laying in the middle of the living room looking sad with her back to mom to protect her still.
My cat's eating a bag in the corner of the room. She couldn't get a good God care.
Yeah, but, we don't have guns all over. We're not just shooting stuff. We don't have a guy that pops out of our closet that calls us crackly snapping frassers or whatever that guy said on Cop Rock.
Saucebuster? Saucebuster was definitely thrown in.
Saucebuster, that's what it was. Sideways Saucebuster. Anyway,
sounds about right.
That's more Patreon stuff. Go listen to Latchkey Vids on our Patreon.
First one's free.
She it is free. It's on Bad Movies Worst People right now. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know if we are. I thought we were pretty good, but the show is hilarious. So hearing us talk about it's great.
It comes through that we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, but he resets her. She goes down. She powers down. Yeah, I was gonna say she passes out, but that's not the right term for a robot. And he thinks he's
cyborg.
Rightfully, he thinks she's dead.
Yes.
But I mean, I knew. I'm like, okay, she's got to reboot. You got to turn it off for 30 seconds and turn it back on again. And she pops up and she's like, "Thank you." She's full of energy again, and she's like, "I bet you thought it would be more exciting to save someone's life, huh?"
And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, I didn't know I was doing that.
And this part made Whitney fall in love with KB even more because she's like, "Thanks, Jedi," and walks away. And he's like,
"No, I did not cry."
No, not at this part. Not at this part.
Okay.
No, and I thought about this. Like, to these kids, they don't really know about the Jedi and the Force all besides a story. So to them, Jedi is just like a cool, like, thanks, hero.
Yeah,
a guy that helps you.
Yeah.
You go on adventures and save people.
But I did think, because this is 9 years ABY, so we could, just thought about this, we could age him up and have him in the next Rey movie. Because Rey's got one coming out, I want to say 2028.
The last thing I read,
her after episode 9.
The last thing I read, which you can't count on anything because like you always say, until you see a trailer, it's not happening.
Yep.
But the last thing I read was that the Rey movie was nixed now in favor of this 10, 11, 12 that they're doing with Simon Kinberg of all fucking people. And so the next thing we're getting is still Mandalorian and then they are supposedly still doing the Rise of the Jedi movie as well.
Yeah, which is 25,000 years before Battle of Yavin.
That's the one I'm most excited for because just whatever, man.
Are we going to get Ahsoka soon?
When he did, we'll get Ahsoka soon. Yeah, I bet you they're working on season 2 right now. I like James Mangold when he did Logan. I did not like James Mangold when he did Dial of Destiny.
Yeah. But so the little trash crabs take them and lead them to
a giant
trash crab, not surprisingly.
Big mama trash crab.
Sir or ma'am.
Is this supposed to be the octopus that was cut from the Goonies?
Yeah. No, that was closer to the turtle in Never Ending Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the octopus was last episode. That was Cathalops.
I like Catholics.
Catholics is dope. Let's see more of that. And I love Wim right here. He's like, how am I always wrong about who's the bad guy?
Right?
You know why? Because you're a little fucking kid and you're hopeful. Don't lose
It's
that.
me. I'm Wim.
He's over there trusting.
That.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. It's fucking optimistic Whitney over here.
Is Derek KB?
A little.
Or is he?
Because I'm part robot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Or are you Neil?
Yeah.
I'm more Neil because I'm a fat kid with one friend.
Oh no, I'm afraid to find out if it's not me. I'll be devastated.
It's Candy.
But I have no human friends. Humans are trash.
Derek's only friend is the DVD rack. I only need one friend when it's got thousands of movies.
My best friend. But meanwhile, Fern and Neil are climbing up the thing, and she's, not understanding again that he can't do what she can do. He's got little stumpy legs.
But he tells her how it is.
I don't have those super long spider legs. It'd be kind of cool if you did.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying. A little elephant kid with spider legs.
I mean, Darth Maul had spider legs in the Clone Wars cartoon we're going to get to soon enough.
Yeah, eventually.
Whitney, you don't have to be there for that.
I won't be. It's fine.
Even though you would love that cartoon.
Why?
Because it's fucking awesome storytelling.
Yeah, spoiler for the future for folks. We're doing all the live action stuff now, but we're going to finish middle of 2026. So we're just going to start doing cartoons. And that'll get us through.
Started.
That'll get us through 2094 or something. So
yeah, for whatever reason, we're going to outlive this planet.
But yeah, she uses a little rope thing to help him up. But as they're going up, these trash haulers start taking the ship away. So they leap onto it and take control.
She can control from the top?
Yeah, she takes control of the trash barge by controlling the droid, question mark?
I mean, we know that she's smart. We've seen her override the, she's top of her class. We saw her override the robot in the other one. She fooled SM-33. She's just got a way about, she's got a way about droids.
She does machines, much like Donatello.
And
much like Donnie.
And her best friend. I can
see her with the bow
staff. Machine.
But yeah, so they hijack the trash barge, swoop in and save Wim and KB. They kind of have like a scramble of action, so you can't really see exactly what they did conveniently, but because somehow they end up on top of it. Scene. Yeah.
I mean, it's good enough action, rather, I should say. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. She went low and got really close, and KB grabbed Wim and was like, jump, and they jumped on top.
Please tell me we got them.
And when they get out to their ship, they see that because the ship crashes, the things drop it. There's basically this big garbage melter robot monster that's about to eat their ship.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could tell this is straight up just a junkyard, not a scrapyard, because they're not going through for any expensive parts or like trying to take reactors. They're just like, this is a luxury planet. This is where we just throw shit away, burn it to the ground.
Yep.
Give its ashes to the Dianoga.
So they run in to try to save their ship. KB remembers how to start it, and everybody's
beautiful moment.
You get that moment from Fern looking at her like super impressed.
Yeah, because it's like, I think it went something like this.
Well, and they show the wide shot of they show the wide shot of her, and it literally looks like someone in the 80s trying to type on a computer. She's just like, like it's just nonsense.
Then we get her expertise once again, because she's like, I'll just jumpstart the engine.
Yeah.
You jumpstart the engine.
Hit it, bitch.
You hit it with a tire iron.
Puts Neil on the throttle and Fern on the steering wheel.
Yeah, and then Wim goes up to the guns.
Yeah, and I had like a little flash forward. Like, if they want to, I would watch these guys. Like, even if it's in a couple years, the kids are going to age, obviously, much like the Stranger Things kids. Like, I'd watch them have their own fucking crew. However, this whole show plays out with Jod Na Nawood.
Yeah,
like, I would watch them on a ship. The rest of this fucking just exploring the galaxy.
Fuck yeah,
out there being good pirates.
Yeah.
Much like One Piece.
And we didn't mention it before when we did the episode. We kind of brushed over it, I think, because we got to the end. But Wim has used the guns before in the episode with Kimima. So yeah, I mean, we know that KB is the computer person. I'm not because she's a computer person, but like she can start the ship and stuff. And then he's got the gun, so it's all coming back around. It's all Chekhov's gun.
Jod, yeah. Something we also didn't talk about because I didn't think it'd be that important, but then I started really like I was on Reddit. The captain, when he has that recording that's all fuzzied up, says, "I have the ship all armored up. The crew's reluctant to go." And I was like, armored up is a weird kind of a turn of phrase. Yeah. Like, and he has actual armor on this. Yeah. And just design wise, I was like, we were discussing the fuselage, captain's crew, and all that, how it's built as like a separate little entity. And it came to fucking full fruition right here.
I know. That's great camouflage.
Yeah. Because everybody's like, oh, look at that piece of shit.
It explains why that ship was buried so fucking deep on At Attin.
Yeah, why it's so
it came in fucking hot. But yeah, so they can't pull away. There's not enough thrust. The little fucking robot is still eating them up, and then that's when I think it's Fern.
It's Fern.
Yeah, Fern. She sees the button, and everyone's like, "No, Smee said never touch it.
Never, ever
touch it." It's the emergency hold demolition sequencer. And it does make a lot of sense because I was like, well, so what if they get away? This thing's punching big ass holes in the ship.
Holes in the hull.
Yeah, exactly. They use this thing, it blows up the hull, and this little sleek, sexy ship pops out of it.
Yeah, it does.
Instantly a favorite, like a top favorite designs of a ship. I fucking love this thing.
It was a dope looking ship, and I love Wim immediately like, dibs on the new ship.
and like Whitney said, it's good camouflage. You know, everybody's looking at it thinking it's a piece of shit, but it's also armor. And also, you get into a situation like this, like the way I'm thinking this more would probably be used would be you're in a tractor beam.
Okay,
you hit that thing. The tractor beam's locked on your outer hull.
Yeah.
So your little ship just pops right out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. And I'm betting you that, like, judging by the sleek design, this is just you dropped all your cargo. Like, that's what that hole is, just your cargo. Now you still have the engines, the getaway, the guns.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty fucking cool.
It's a great design.
And they fly off into space very like, yeah, are we going to make it? You know, you see the ship not, because they don't know. They're not pilots.
Yeah.
There's no Jake Lloyd
on the ship. Pirates.
And that's the end of the episode.
Woo! So, a short one to boot. And it's fine because we had a banging ass episode last week, like probably the best of the batch. And then this one delivered on some things. I'll start the wrap up since I already just did. Like, I'm happy we got part of the KB's mystery. That's cool because we were talking right away. Like, is she a droid? What happened? Like, that's a permanent augmentation. Yeah, and now we know what's going on there.
And it's a necessity, not for funsies.
And we moved along the Jod Na Nawood a little bit, not all the way, but you know the wheels are turning there. And we got 2 episodes left, dude. So we have some things to wrap up here on the show. Like, I think we're getting to At Attin in next episode. Like, I think Pirates and everybody's going to converge on At Attin. We're going to get New Republic there to help at some point. Because now we didn't say it when the X-Wings came to fight the Pirates off. Wim's like, oh, yeah, they're the good guys, you know, like, because Jod said they're bad guys. Jod's a bad guy. If so facto, they're good guys. So yeah, I'm bummed that I'm not going to have any Star Wars to look forward to every week because that's been a real treat. But I like what I'm getting. I'll appreciate that much.
I'm still in it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. I want more. Give me more.
Oh, the part that I thought Whitney was going to cry at when they're like best friends. Like, it's just the 2 girls talking to each other about being besties.
I was just like, oh, I miss Amber.
Well, I miss my best friend. Judge Reinhold. All right, that's enough. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to Star Wars that up, though. We got to make it runaway land speeder instead of a helicopter. Make like the fucking LLATs. LAAT. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how dare you?
I know that nobody else even knows what, like, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but I hear myself saying the wrong things and it kills me inside.
Yeah, I'm still in it. This was for me probably the weakest episode.
Agreed. Which is fine.
It just wasn't a lot. It was them escaping the planet, and that's pretty much it. And it's fine. Yeah, you have to have a lull. The lull means that we're probably getting action for the next two. Definitely the last one. That's how last episodes work.
Yeah.
And then the next one will be the build up, but I think we're going to get some good action there. So.
Yes, I'm hoping so.
Typically the second to last is like a big battle or something like that. If we're going by Game of Thrones rules.
It's the battle of the bastards. Well, these kids all have parents.
Maybe. They're all just genetic clones of their own parents anyway.
Oh.
So would that make them bastards or just freaks?
Not human?
Holes in the Force, if you believe some of the Jedi Masters from the Clone Wars. You'll get there.
But that's it for this week. Actually, that's not it for this week. Sorry, guys, I forgot. Because of our screwed up schedule, because of the holiday special, and then we're recording this on New Year's Eve, and I'm not about to turn this off and then start editing and spend my New Year's Eve editing. This episode is coming out January 8th or whatever, a week from when the episode aired. So stay tuned, because right after this, we'll be talking about episode 7, which we don't know the title of yet because we haven't watched it.
Quick, we need a wardrobe change.
I'll watch him wearing the same thing.
Thank you, guys. Claimsies on the new ship.
Have we got a podcast for you?
Bad movies, worse people.
I mean, look, you like getting a couple beers in you, watching a bad movie, and yucking it up with your friends. That's what we're doing. We have microphones.
We have great impersonations. We have bad impersonations.
I think it might be one of the best podcasts I've ever heard.
It's the best podcast I've ever heard, fellas, and I ain't lying through my giant teeth. There's a sample.
Yes.
You can find us anywhere. badmoviesworsepeople.com. Come check us out.
If you don't follow us, we will follow you home.
Welcome back to Han Took Shots First. This week we're talking about Skeleton Crew episode 7. We're going to be in so much trouble. I'm Derek.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Whitney.
Chut chut.
Chut chut, motherfuckers.
A teeny.
What's going on, kids?
We're back. It's never going to get old.
Well, if it does, just keep doing it. It'll bring it back.
Yeah, it'll come back around again.
Come back around.
We can Family Guy that shit.
Look, my beer matches the episode. It's all green and blue.
Oh,
Just
nice.
the coloring.
It's deliciousness.
Can't read it, but don't screw up your camera.
Yeah, I got myself one of these Maine Beer Company little whaleboat.
Oh yeah, those are good
nice.
too.
Fucking delicious, dude.
Yeah, I'd get cerebral because we're talking about space, and that's smart.
And look,
stuff.
we're all just treating ourselves. Well, little whaleboat's kind of piratey, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a boat in it.
Or is that
It
like
says
a
a
clitoris
crocodile
joke? I
on
don't
it.
understand.
Our door is open, so Candy's gonna bark, guys. Just gonna let you know. We have a cute little doggy that barks.
Dog's gonna be dogging.
Yeah. Oh, so
So-
it's crocodile kilometer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crocodiles are pirates.
Right?
So, what?
Crocodiles are pirates, right?
I mean, you
How?
can't trust the crocodile.
I don't know.
Why not?
There's that
frog
big crocodile in Hook, and he eats Hook.
Ooh.
Yeah, he hates pirates. He eats them. He's not a pirate. He hates pirates.
Wasn't he a... I don't know. It doesn't matter because that's something else. Right now, we're talking about Skeleton Crew.
We're trying to.
So this is the newest episode. It just aired on January 7th. And thank you guys for staying tuned because you just got done watching our talk about episode 6. So this is a two-parter
that
this
wardrobe
week.
change.
Yeah, went and got new clothes on and everything. Don't want to look weird. This week's episode is directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who directed a movie called Minari. That's a good movie. You guys probably haven't seen because nobody did. And he directed the new Twisters with Twisters with the human capybara.
You heard that once and you have just ran with it.
It's great.
Because you can't unsee it. Look at his face.
No, you can't.
He's a fucking capybara.
And I love capybaras, and he's gorgeous, so it's fine.
That's why he's working right now. America loves capybaras.
This guy also directed chapter 19 of Mandalorian, The Convert, which was the episode where
that animal comes out of the water and scoops him up.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
where
Dr.
that dude was trying
Pershing or something.
Yeah, he was trying to become a part of the Republic, and that chick betrayed him. Something. I remember it was a good episode.
She's a Moff Gideon simp. So I mean, she's just. We'll get to that in detail, but just that's part of the New Republic's problem is they just were really, really soft. So it was really easy for the Empire to come back as the First Order. I mean, you can see it in Mando and all those episodes. They just are not good at being in charge.
Yeah.
I just remember that guy from a few episodes of Bones.
Okay. No, he's Dr. I want to say it's Dr. Pershing.
That sounds right to me.
He's got a Camino cloner logo on his jacket.
Yeah, because he was that was the whole thing, right? He started out doing the thing in front of not the Senate, but like a room like the Senate, and he was talking about how cloning was good because you could clone body parts and whatever, and then they were like, actually, you're gonna do data processing.
And he was talking about strand casting, which is how we get Snoke.
Oh, I thought
we'll save that for another time.
I thought that was how somehow the Emperor had returned.
I mean, they're doing that. Like all the cartoons, Bad Batch, and even Mandalorian, you hear like Operation Necromancer. Like that's all just going to be to explain somehow the Emperor returned.
And this one was also written by Chris Ford and John Watts again. So John Watts is the guy who's running the show. He's the guy that did Spider-Man and whatnot. Chris Ford and John Watts wrote the first handful of episodes, so we don't need to talk about them too much. And I do want to mention, because even though the people watching this or listening to this just heard and saw the other episode, the girl that we thought was that Whitney and I thought was from Hunt for the Wilder People. She is not, but she is one of Taika Waititi's people, kind of, because Sissa Gray, and she was in Next Goal Wins. She was the lady at the convenience store.
Oh, I love her in that role. She's fucking great.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that's funny.
So she was in that.
It's not the lady from Next Goal Wins, but it is the lady from Next Goal Wins.
Yeah. She was also in a bunch of Bosch, which might be why we recognized her as well.
Okay.
So,
got it.
We like Bosch.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that because it's hard to get some of these people's names right after the episode since we're recording, the night of.
Yeah.
So. And we've talked about maybe doing that differently in the future, delaying these 1 week. That way we have time to watch it over and see what's going on and actually get information.
Yeah. And
I don't know, but there is something to be said about the fresh, especially with a show like this that's been having mysteries. I've really enjoyed getting right on here and discussing with you guys. And
not being influenced by other people's thoughts, like getting your
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's just it's a sitting around the bar at Mos Eisley having a fucking spotch.
Well, we can keep it in mind and see what we feel like when we get there. And also, if you're listening or watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can leave a comment below. If you're doing it any other way, you can email us, hanttookshotsfirst@gmail.com, or comment on any of our social media. Let us know if you like having it the day after or if you would like us to wait. Because, I know some people don't have time to watch it that first night either. So, who knows?
Yeah, we appreciate the input either way.
Yeah. But so we'll get into the episode. It starts with the parents again, which I had kind of forgotten about because they were not present last week.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, that's right. Kids have parents.
Huh. Interesting take.
and they're building this transmitter thing.
This is ET.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said when it took off. I was like, that looks like ET's ship. Not him building the thing, but it looks like his ship too. Uh-oh.
No.
We're going to lose Jack again.
All right, so we were talking about the parents doing ET.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, the thing looks like ET's ship, but also I get what you're saying about how, like, he built that communicator in a cave out of scraps.
Yeah, and I mean, just like the forest and the lighting of it, it's a good reminder.
Yeah, but I mean, am I crazy, or did the little communicator look almost exactly like his ship?
No, you're not crazy. The buoy.
Yeah, the thing they send out. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about that until you said it, but yeah.
Oh, I guess it did. I was like, his ship didn't have little things at the bottom, but I guess it did have feet. They just fold up into it when it flies, and these didn't because they built it in a cave out of scraps.
Out of scraps.
But yeah, they're building up this communicator thing, and the security droids show up, and it's actually a pretty fucking cool like little chase scene because it's like, step away or you will be stunned for your own safety. And like,
that's what's wrong.
It's the exact stun noise and stun effect from episode 4 where Leia gets it.
Yeah, the little circle.
Yeah.
The one of the moms, like the KB's moms, she's like, that's what's wrong with you droids. You never listen to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do this like relay race, basically. Like one parent takes it and runs, and then as they get stunned, the next parent grabs it, and on until we get to Carrie Condon. And like
it's a Russian nesting doll of parents.
Yeah, it is.
And I think they don't shoot Carrie Condon right away because she's the undersecretary, whatever. Because they're like, hey, go ahead and drop that thing. And she uses that chance to get away and hide. And she's able to send this out. And it's pretty cool because I was like, okay, so they block communications. We got that. I just assumed they were making a communicator that could transmit through the barrier.
So did I.
My exact thoughts. Like it could pierce the veil kind of thing. But no, it has to be fucking buoyed.
Yeah, it's a whole little ship thing, a whole satellite that gets shot all the way out there.
I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
When we go back to the parents, and now the kids, and now Wim is being sad because he's going home. A few episodes he was sad because he didn't like his adventure. He's just always sad.
He's just worried.
He doesn't have what he needs. He doesn't know what he needs. I can relate. He's anxious. Yeah. He's antsy. He doesn't know why.
He felt like he didn't get to complete his adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he's also probably bumming pretty hard about Jod still,
Yeah, because he really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And
so maybe that's why he's like, this adventure sucks, dude. I was supposed to get a fucking cool ass, like big brother kind of father figure, like fun uncle that buys you beer.
Fun uncle that buys you porn and scratchers.
Oh man, I want to see the fucking Star Wars edition of Scratchers. Like, what do they have? Just like these hollow Scratchers.
That's the Star Wars edition of porn.
Yeah.
But I do like Neil's thing. He's like, what are you talking about? This was an awesome adventure. Sure, I was almost dead half the time, but that's what adventures are like.
That's a real adventure.
Yeah, I loved it. I like that they kind of traded places at that point.
Yeah. Like Neil started to accept it and stopped being the wet blanket, and now Wim is the wet blanketing all over the place.
He is the wettest blanket. Like a t-shirt full of Jello. All comes back to ET.
And then the pirates now show up at Attin.
At Attin.
They arrive.
At Attin.
And the planet looks like a toxic maelstrom.
Dude,
it's this
beautiful.
green, gross looking, like shooting out clouds of toxic vapor and stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly that. It's a space fart.
The planet is gassy.
I'm so over Brutus at this point. Like, I'm just like, someone needs to just shoot him. I'm so over his bullshit.
I think he's perfectly pirate. He's doing this thing. He's like, dude, I fucking got this crew. We were struggling under you, and now I found something else. I'm the top dog, as it were.
Woof, woof.
And but it's Jod calls it out right away. He's like, "What? How fucking stupid are you, dude? Like, just because you can't see it means it's not there. Like, this is obviously a smoke screen, literally and figuratively."
And he says it's been hidden for hundreds of years. It's like a little bit of a timeline for us.
Yeah, because I mean, all we know is they make Old Republic credits, but when did all that happen? I mean, they know about Tak Renad, so it could have been, but also, I don't know, pirates and lore and stuff. Who knows? That could have been a long time ago too.
Yeah. It's not, but at least it's not like thousands of years ago we lost At Attin.
Yeah. But he does. I like SM-33 won't give information until Jod tells him to.
Yeah.
He's the captain.
He's like, "Will you fucking tell them what Tak Renad said?" And he's like, "Yeah, the real treasure's hidden inside of an eternal storm or whatever." And then later on, he's like, "Can you also tell them like why the ship can go through? Like, it's just a
Can you tell us how to get through?" Yeah, I got that information right here.
It's like, he's your captain. Wouldn't you be trying to save him? But it turns out he doesn't actually like Jod that much.
No, he does not. And I love it.
He follows orders because he's programmed to, but he skirts the system as much as he can.
Like,
or maybe Captain Renad was like a fucking no nonsense guy. He's like, don't fucking speak. I will ask you when I need something from you.
Yeah,
maybe
because that's who presumably built him.
But so this tentacle guy volunteers to fly in. What did you say they were called again? Corins.
They are on the same planet as the Mon Calamari, and then used to be in a forever battle over the planet.
Mon Calamari squid people?
Admiral Akbar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kind of a octopus head.
Okay.
I've heard that before. I didn't realize it was these guys, but I've heard that before. I don't know if it was from you or if it was from this other Star Wars podcast I've listened to sometimes. But that there was on their planet, there was the two races that were always fighting.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting because you don't really hear about that. Normally, it's just like, here's one race from every planet has one.
Yeah, I should be able to remember Quarren because I'm pretty sure Quarren is what those aliens were in Mass Effect. The girl that had to be inside the suit all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about my wife?
She was my wife in one of my playthroughs. I mean, you definitely had to. The first time I played through that game, you've got to do the thing where you have to do all the special stuff so the girl can get out of her containment suit to have sex. Come on.
Oh yeah, duh. Why else am I going to romance her? Although spacesuit sex, not the worst thing I've thought of.
Yes, you do need to play this game, Whitney. You played Dragon Age, you enjoyed it.
I love
Same people, but space.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, did you want to be able to fuck everybody in your crew? Because you can.
Well, then that sounds like me.
Yeah, you can be a guy. You can be a guy. Fuck the guys, the girls, the aliens.
I did. I fucked all of them.
Yeah.
They made this game for Whitney's.
There's a girl that has the biotic powers, which is like their version of telekinesis, kind of. And you can have sex with her. And if she's like, you just want to fuck, or do you want a relationship? If you're like, I just want to fuck, there's a whole rough sex scene where you've thrown each other across the room with your biotic powers and shit. You'd love it.
That sounds so exciting.
Yes, a side dream come true.
Where were you
beside myself?
Introducing me to games. I've never played video games.
But now we're talking about Star Wars, where sex doesn't exist. So
right.
Unless it's Andor, that show fucks.
Yeah. But so this Quarren guy, he's like, I'll fly in there, and he gets destroyed immediately. And they're like, yep. So it turns out you're full of shit, Jod. Out the airlock.
Yeah.
And the Orange is the New Black lesbian chick saves him again.
Yeah. There's got to be some underlying thing between the two of them. Like,
so we
maybe
rewatched.
She's secretly his mother.
we rewatched. I almost said Zero Fucks Given. Zero Friends again.
Yeah.
We rewatched that episode right before this, and the scene where she's the one who says like, we have to do the pirates code and the equal time or whatever, where you posited that maybe he did some kind of Jedi mind trick. She is already looking at him, and you can see like
the
thought
worry
of like,
on her face.
Yeah, she's like trying to think about how to help him, but also he's looking right at her now, whether he's influencing her or if he just knows like she likes me. She's gonna help me.
I mean, the
you
crew
know.
likes him apparently.
I was gonna
crew
say
loves him.
we'll jump ahead a little bit, dude. He's like, the crew loves me. Brutus is like, no, they love Plunder. He's like, no, they love me.
They love me.
Like it's good. It's good Jude Law.
Yeah,
It is.
But okay, but I get what you're saying. Like there might be another connection there, or it could be the crew really does love him. Maybe this chick is just smart enough to be like, he's probably right.
Yeah. He's onto something.
Because you wouldn't just put up a fucking fake maelstrom. Somebody's gonna test it. There's fucking Mandalorians out there. Someone's gonna fucking go all suicidal, kamikaze on you.
And so now the Onyx Cinder arrives. That's why she stops it. And Jod realizes, like, holy shit, that ship's the key. That ship can get through. So they pull them in with a tractor beam. And on their way over to go to the ship, Brutus tells them, like, hey, just so you know, treasure or no, first chance I get, you're fucking dead, dude.
Oh,
I wouldn't do that.
And that's where he's like, yeah, the crew loves me. So they go to board the ship, and Brutus gets grabbed by that fucking loader arm that we saw in one of the other episodes.
And this is where I'm like, just fucking kill him already.
I was waiting for this arm to come in at some point ever since I saw it. I didn't think it'd be this, but I was like, you don't introduce that thing without actually using it. And yeah, I wondered right here, it's like, dude, Jod's going to fucking do it. Because a hero he is not. I still hold on that he's going to have a redemption and save one of these kids, probably Wim. But
I don't know. There's only one episode left, and he's becoming more and more of a bad guy every moment. So
I'm holding on to it, man. I really am.
But
I think that we are planning on a second season already, so they're going to give us I think they have more for Jude Law planned out.
Yeah, I hope they do more because this show has been, I mean, from what I saw, mostly well received. I haven't been keeping up, but I did see an article that popped up with pictures of Skeleton Crew, and I didn't read it because it's one of those Screen Rant clickbait fucking horseshit articles. It doesn't actually tell you anything, but it was an editorial thing, and the title was Star Wars fans wouldn't know a good show if it kicked them in the ass or something like that. So clearly some people are out there hating on Skeleton Crew as well. So
I mean, it's still the Star Wars fans, but the thing is, I think we have this show is going to get some new Star Wars fans. You know,
I
mean,
so. Hi. Have you ever
I was like, yeah, I was going to say, like, Whitney's enjoying this more than I thought she would.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it's a new version of Star Wars because the younger kids that were born later may have been born when the sequels came out, but not old enough to really watch them or know or care. They're going to see this and they're going to enjoy it because it's an entry point for them.
Yeah.
I got a nephew who grew up with the sequel trilogy being his Star Wars, and he fucking loves them. Yeah. We went to the Disneyland together, and he was like, "Oh my god, that's Kylo Ren. He's so awesome." And it's just like you have to look at it from a little kid's point of view. I know that we have our problem with the sequel trilogy, but if we were that age, we probably wouldn't, dude. I'm like, cool, Emperor's back. I don't really care how.
It's just like I saw a thing recently where someone was talking about James Gunn's Superman, and they were like, okay, sure, you guys are all out there hating on it because you're all Henry Cavill fans or whatever.
Yeah.
But their thing is, they're like, there's a whole generation of people where Henry Cavill is their Superman. There's another generation of people where Brandon Routh was their Superman. There's another generation of people where Christopher Reeve is their Superman. And there's going to be a whole new generation of kids that are going to be introduced to Superman via this David Cornsweet or whatever his name is.
Cornsweet?
Cornsweet. Cornswet.
Cornsweet.
Cornsweet.
Wow.
It's more like sweat.
Sweat?
Yeah.
Cornsweet.
Don't forget about
fucking hot. It low taste. It's a little cornsweet.
Don't forget about who played Smallville.
Oh, they did mention that kid too.
I will always forget about him. He didn't hit the big screen. No, thank you.
He will forever say he never played Superman. He played Clark Kent.
Yeah, perfect. Leave him off that list then.
But I do like when this loader arm grabs Brutus because he tries to like shoot it and they just fucking shake him like someone shaking out a towel. Just knock his gun out of his hand. That shit got me laughing.
Yeah, that was good. I like that motion.
It was fun.
And yeah, Jod pops him.
Yep, Jod fucking
barely
kills
a hesitation either. And what does he say?
Well, and Brutus looks right at him, and he's like, "Fuck."
Yep.
I should not have said the thing about I'm going to kill you as soon as I can. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry.
And then
come on, guys, joking. I'm not going to kill you. Nah.
Immediately, Jod Na Nawood is just like, he was a mutinous, backstabbing piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though he's backstabbing right now, they also know that's true because this was Jod's crew. So
Yeah.
He's like, look, dude, everybody's tired of finding hair in their food, right? Okay, that's what you get for having a chauvinistin as a captain. There's hairballs everywhere. Did he poop in your room too? Like, I didn't want to talk shit when he was a captain, but yeah, he peed. I mean, he was peeing on my girlfriend. It was a real weird night.
Did you guys ever see that old Earth movie, Old Yeller? Look, you gotta just take the dog out back sometimes. I guess it's a future Earth movie, but
yeah, we're gonna have to put him down. You're short, you're hairy, you're ugly.
So they take over the kids' ship, the Onyx Cinder, and immediately intercept the message buoy that comes out. Whitney starts crying.
I did. I was very excited when Jod shoots him. I'm like, yes, finally! And then 3 minutes later, I'm crying.
Yeah. All the parents telling the kids, "I love you, and we just want you to come home." And
I was a little upset. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a buoy to like whatever the equivalent of a Republic emissary would be, like whoever could receive that message, like send some X-wings is what I was hoping. But it's just like, hey kids, we know you're lost. We can't do anything. Go find an adult. That was like basically the message. Of course, it was like a love and hope and all the reasons Whitney was crying kind of thing.
Well, but it was really downhearted. Not downhearted. What's the word I'm looking for? Disappointing.
Down home cooking.
Because again, there was that whole thing with Wim's dad. What's his name again?
Wendell.
I don't know. Wendell.
Where he's just like, "You're not in trouble. Just come home."
Yeah.
I mean, but also I think it also shows us how the parents are out of the loop too, because they say in the message that you weren't supposed to find out about any of this stuff till you graduated and became part of the system here.
Yeah.
But they don't even know what's going on because they're like,
anybody.
Go find a Republic emissary. They can get you back here. And it's like, well, nobody knows that this place exists. So I don't think there's
what they more meant was you weren't supposed to know about our planet and all the things outside of it.
Yeah, but I mean, just with them saying like, go find a Republic emissary, the Republic doesn't know about At Attin. Nobody does.
Well, that's what
the Republic that they're talking about is at least High Republic. Like it is pre-galactic empire.
That's what I mean. Like it's just showing that they're super out of the loop as well.
Right.
Which makes sense.
When he said you weren't supposed to know about this, I thought it was just the fact that they're hiding a fucking mint on their planet. Like, hey, we were going to let you know later, but now you know. There's stars in the sky.
So the kids decide, like, hey, we've got to take the ship back. And it's Fern that's like, we need a plan. And Wim just, attack! And runs out and just starts batting at these guys. And you know what? I appreciated this because we watched Three Ninjas for Bad Movies, Worst People back in 2023. And those little kids are kicking the shit out of adults. And I don't care how much karate training you have. An adult is going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially a group of with adults. A sword.
Especially when they don't like kids.
A group of adult pirates at that. Like he runs up and starts basically just hitting this dude, and the guy just grabs him, and he's like, "No, By
the way, 1,000% less hias.
But so Jod lays claim to the Onyx Cinder because, like Smee tells him, you can't be the captain of two ships. You have to. Yeah,
it doesn't work because he's like, actually, you were captain of that big fucker, so you can't. And Wim just starts saying, claimsies. Dude, I'm at the TV screaming. I'm like, call claimsies, you dumb dick.
Well, he did say claimsies before Jod covered his mouth, so I think he got it. But they say that Jod got it. But then Fern is like, no.
Unclaimsies.
Unclaimsies. That's what it was. And he's like, that's not how it works.
Only a kid can claimsies now.
And I really love it because like at this point, Jod has his helmet back on, which makes this even funnier
Yeah, it
because
does.
he's like, that's not how it works. And Smee's like, good enough for me, and just socks him in the fucking face, and like chunks of shit go flying off his helmet. Like,
I mean, I was wondering why he was wearing that helmet, except for like, I don't know, it does look cool. It is that pirate hat kind of look to it. But I think this is why he put the helmet back on, so we could get him fucking knocked out and not dead.
It's like the glasses in Universal Soldier.
I also think it's like he's like, I'm the captain again, and now I get to wear my captain hat.
Maybe.
Yeah. I just, when you first see it, I just thought it was a device for just hiding who he was, which was very poorly done. But I think it's something else. Maybe he likes a little anonymity, because we're going to find out here. He had a rough childhood. Like, he didn't have a childhood.
No, you can definitely see that emotion and hear it.
We'll get there because we're almost there. I jumped the gun a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they take the ship. They run off. Some fighters chase them. They're going through the maelstrom here, and SM-33 is like, hey, this is part of Captain Renaud's genius. This is a mint ship, so it'll let it through. These other guys are trying to stop them, and those fucking things in the barrier are just blasting these ships out of the sky.
Yeah. So it's the material it's made out of, maybe, that it doesn't attract this lightning.
Or a transponder or something. It tells them that.
Oh, could be. The look of the ship is very cool and sleek. It's not. I don't think it's Beskar, but it reminds me of how the first time you saw Mando in that chrome ass Beskar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pirates do say when the ship arrives, they talk about like the style of the vents and stuff. They're like,
they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
It'd be like us seeing a fucking 57 Buick just rolling down the street.
So they get in there, and there's At Attin, and I do like how they did this, because I was thinking that like the cloud storm was right outside of At Attin, but it's like a whole sphere around it. Like there's a bunch of empty space between At Attin and the cloud. Because when they show from the planet view, when the parents launch the thing, you can see like green clouds in the sky. So I was like, okay, so it's just like the exact thing right around it, and maybe it only activates when somebody approaches, because they didn't have that before. The sky wasn't green in the first episode.
No, it was red.
Well, you had like red dots.
Yeah,
the red dots. I think, I think it maybe. Does it activate when someone's around?
I mean, it must, because we don't know. The kids didn't get to fly the ship out of. Hey.
Sorry.
You
People
called
are walking
it.
their dogs. Pedophile chop. Candy.
She's just
Candy
being a dog.
Louise.
Damn, you got full middle name and everything on that, kids.
She's gonna go
Sorry
to
if
the
it
other
was
door.
too loud.
She's going over to the other door. She's like, fine, I'll go park over here. But yeah, like, I don't know. The sky wasn't green in the first episode, so I just assume it activates the full cloud when people get there. But it doesn't really matter. It just looks cool because it's just a whole sphere around the planet.
I mean, them flying through looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
It's fine.
We're almost done.
But yeah, so they get locked into an autopilot sequence, just like on At Attin. And I was kind of hoping we'd see something more with them. Maybe it'll be a next season thing, but we do get Neil mentioning Hana, so they're at least referencing it.
I really
I'm
hope
convinced we're getting a second season.
I
think they have big plans for these characters.
If they do, I'll be back on that. Claimsies.
All right, she'll be back in 3 to 4 years. She'll be back in 3 to 4 years when they make season 2.
No shit.
So they are starting to go down, and Fern is like, they're all happy about it. And Fern's got this thing. She's like, by the way, my mom totally lied in that message. We're in so much trouble.
We're gonna be in so much trouble. She said it.
This is when they find out Jod snuck onto the ship, and Smee goes to stop him and just gets his head cut right the fuck off with a lightsaber.
A tear rolled down my eye.
But
I know he can be rebuilt.
We've seen 3PO in very similar situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there was in the prequels, there was a whole thing where his head was on one of the battle droids, right? Or vice versa.
Both. It was both. It was switched.
Yeah, okay.
Switched at birth. It's like the Prince and the Pauper, but in Star Wars, except with heads. There's also episode 5 on Bespin where he spends a good portion of the movie in Chewie's backpack in different pieces.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's doable. But also, is anybody impressed by Jod's lightsaber skills? Because
He's
I don't
pretty
think he
fucking
should be.
skilled.
I don't think he is. I really don't think he is.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He's using it. But I mean, you see it when he's waving it at the kids. He like barely has control over what he's doing. He's just kind of.
That's the point I was going to get. Like he's worse than
really?
Finn. Yeah, I think so. Like he does the Jod thing, the Shmi's head thing, and then like Derek said, he's waving at the kids. And I don't think it looks skillful at all. I think it looks like somebody who just picked up a gun for the first time. It's like, nah, I'm in charge. Everybody listen here. And just like waving it around like a madman. Because he's probably hasn't held one in forever, if he even made it that far in the Jedi. Like to me, he just seems like such a kind of a failed Jedi. Or now we're to the part that I was going to speak on. He starts yelling at these kids. He's like, you're fucking spoiled brats. You're so cushy. Oh, look at you with your mom and dad. And oh, you're not running for your lives from a fucking red lightsaber wielding maniac in a black mechanical breathing suit. If Vader was chasing him down at all. But yeah, well, I mean, like I think it's a clue to his past that he's jealous that you get to be kids because he didn't. We don't know his exact age, but I would say he's probably 50. Based on Jude Law's age.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he would have been not young, but he would have been a young Padawan or a youngling, maybe 11 years old, I'm thinking.
Well, what happens if you get kicked out for being bad?
Well, it depends. How bad are you? Because the Jedi can destroy you. And in some of the legend stuff, they could cut your ties with the Force or wipe your mind, much like Revan.
So maybe something like that happened.
So trying to line up the timelines real quick. This is like about 9.
980 is what we're almost 100% sure on.
Episode 3 was like what?
Well, it ends with Luke
18?
being born, so it's 19 years before.
19 years before. So 27-ish years that he's been, or 27-ish years since Order 66. He would have been too old to have been
I guess
Padawan.
So, huh?
But
Unless
I don't
he's
think
like in his 30s or 40s.
I just don't think. I think at this point he doesn't have. He wasn't a Jedi. He wasn't getting Jedi training. I think it's just Disney bringing back some of what they were trying to undo for a while there, which was that anybody can use the Force. Because like you've said before on some of our other stuff, is that Dave Filoni is bringing that in. Like it's. Everybody can be Force sensitive or use the Force. It just depends on what your natural skill is and how much training you have. And he just happens to have natural skill, but no training. So he can lift stuff and do little tricks, but he doesn't know.
And something that we missed on the episode, we've talked about it off camera, but what he says to Wim, your focus determines your reality.
Yeah.
That's Qui-Gon Jinn's line to Anakin. That is like, how the fuck does he know that very Jedi specific phrase? He's been in the temple, man. He's been,
he has to.
He's been around.
I mean, we know in the New Republic that the temples and stuff are pretty much all abandoned, right? I mean, because that's where Luke is hanging out at the original temple. So, I mean, they went as the pirates went and raided the temple.
Are you talking about Octo, like in episode 8 and 9?
Yeah, but I don't mean he went to that one. I just mean like, we know that like there aren't really any Jedi at that point. That's the last Jedi, right? So
yeah,
they just went and raided an empty temple hoping to find treasure, and he read a book or something.
Could be. I'd be disappointed by that. I want him to have some, again, because I'm holding on to a redemption arc is what it is. I need to have him have some sort of tie to the Jedi.
I know. I like. It's very disappointing to watch, but not like disappointing in the show, disappointing in the character. But I like watching him like go from kind of helpful and fun with the kids to just like straight up evil. Yeah. And I mean, it's all greed. I mean, cause we're getting there right now. So we'll talk about it, but he tells them like, I'm glad I saw your parents cause I can carve them up and I'll carve you up too. They land on the planet. I do like these people hanging out in this park. and like the landing pad starts to open and everybody just goes running because they did not know.
In forever.
I was gonna say you had no idea because you would have been standing there when you saw a plane coming down,
So it has
ship
to
coming
have been
down.
at least a generation.
I mean,
if not two.
Nobody goes on and off this planet, so
Yeah.
The High Republic. I mean, that ended. Fuck, when did that end? The High Republic would have been 100 years before. So I mean, yeah, it's been probably it's like 200 years since they've had an emissary there.
I mean, as far as we know, the last ship that came onto or off of this planet was the Onyx Cinder, and it did not look like it came down easily.
No.
I don't think it was buried on. I don't know if it was buried on purpose or if it was buried in a crash.
we heard what we think is the supervisor's voice.
Yeah, that's what we're getting to right now. We hear the supervisor, and this is another thing. So I don't know if it's the droid thing or if it's just an automated thing and there is no supervisor, because this announcement just acts like this is a normal thing. It's like, hey, everybody, I'm the supervisor. There's an emissary approaching, so please stop your work until they're completed with whatever.
I got some Wizard of Oz vibes, and as a robotic program, though.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't even think it's a droid. I think it's literally just a program, and there is no supervisor.
And the droids are like,
it's Captain Renaud's like last fucking wish or something, you know? It's going to be like, I found the treasure, but it's too great for anyone to do anything with. So,
or Captain Renaud, it is like Wizard of Oz, and Captain Renaud is just controlling it from behind. It's like, pay no attention to the man behind the droid, to the man behind the hologram.
Well, that's a false of a different color.
But so they land and immediately proceed down to the Mint, which the whole thing goes down like a big elevator. And
dude, this reveal.
Well, Jod keeps trying to. He's like, so I need to communicate with my ship, and they're like, yeah, you can't do that. And he's like, but I should be able to. I am the emissary now. And they're like, well, you're gonna have to talk to the supervisor about it. And we see more of Jod's like hate for droids, because he's like, good, be better than talking to a fucking droid. Go get the supervisor and some snacks.
Yep.
Which maybe Clone Wars. Maybe he was involved in the fucking separatist movement. I don't know.
Yeah. Or he just, because the droids were they were the bad guys, so.
Yeah. It's the reason the Empire never used droids. Well, did not use droids. They didn't use battle droids.
I mean, based on our math we just did, he was at least in his 20s during the Clone Wars, so.
So he could have been a Padawan or a full-fledged Jedi at that point, leading his own people, his own squadron of clones.
But they get down to the vault. This is one vault of 1,139 vaults that are just filled with fucking gold.
I mean, to the brim. I couldn't even begin to fathom. I was like, man, maybe I should try and calculate. No fucking way. Because you can't see how deep this goes. You can barely see how tall it goes. And
it's like
you really don't know.
Hundreds of feet tall.
Like if every one of these coins, and we know they're not, if every one of these coins was worth $1 American, there is so much like fucking money. Yeah, I think it's way more than that. This is a Spanish doubloon.
Yeah, because it's not even like the material it's made from that's worth anything. It's the fact that it's an Old Republic credit.
No, but it also is the material. They are using precious.
That's what I mean. They're like a Spanish doubloon, though, like you said. Like gold is precious, but a Spanish doubloon is worth more. A 1 ounce Spanish doubloon is worth more than 1 ounce of gold.
I see what you're saying. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I mean, the fact that these are newly made, if there was like Star Wars coin collectors in this universe, the fact that these are newly made would actually make them worth less. But because nobody knows that they can be newly made, they're just like, oh, Old Republic credits. These must be Old Republic credits. Like,
so they're mining inside At Attin then, right?
Yes.
That's what it seems like.
That's what it looked like when we went through the tunnel.
There's a YouTuber, excuse me. I want to say his channel is Generation Tech, where he talks about it. If you ever want to check out like the nerdy deep dives that I go through, that's my favorite channel. But he talks about the material that I can't think of the name right now. And he had posed early on when everyone was trying to figure out what the jewel of At Attin was, or the jewel of the Old Republic. He had posed right away. It was an Old Republic mint, like mine and mint, and yeah.
Okay.
Because even Fern in one of the early episodes, she's like, the kids that didn't do well in the assessments got sent to the mines Maybe maybe that's true.
Oh,
The
shit.
the gold in Star Wars, because you had mentioned before, and then I looked it up and forgot, so I just looked it up again.
Yeah.
It gets its name from the actual like periodic table of elements for gold, which is AU. But in Star Wars it's called erodium. AURODIUM.
Okay. So yeah, this planet is probably fucking rich with erodium.
And apparently it's worth 10 to 15 credits per gram.
Ooh.
Hmm.
And those little things, I mean, they aren't big, but they're more than a gram.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say they Grammy.
So they kind of look like they'd be 5 grams or 3 to 5 grams, right?
Yeah, because
But either way, like I said,
they're falling all over his head and they're not hurting him, so they're not too heavy.
There's like, well, I hated that shit. Let's get to that because I hate that scene.
I mean,
The
it's
CG-ness of it all.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's good to show his character, but it also is fucking stupid because, like, yeah, he pulls out one of the credits and the whole thing starts falling down like almost like liquid because it's just this big stack of credits, and he's just running his head under it like water falling on his head.
It doesn't look good.
It looks bad. Yeah.
It looks bad. I like what you're saying about his character because we're seeing what in Lord of the Rings would be like a dragon sickness. Like he is gold mad or erodium mad. Like he is fucking loving this shit. He's got a fucking bukkake of old dataries coming on his face now, and it looks terrible. It's a golden spray.
He's got to taste it. This episode in particular has 2 of the worst CG things in the whole show so far that I've noticed.
What was the other one?
It's this with the gold, and then it's when they're pulling up to the vault. Because it's clearly just Jude Law standing in a green room.
Okay.
Because like you've got he's on this big platform. The only other things in the shot are droids and the ship.
Yeah.
And then they pull up to the vault, and like it's like this panning thing, and it doesn't even look like he's in front of a green screen. It looks like he's watching a screen that's projecting an image of a vault. Like it's like you're on the Star Tours or something, or one of those kind of things where it's like you're supposed to be in a ship that's turning, so they just make the screen looks like it's turning, but your ship isn't moving. You know, like.
So he wasn't on the volume.
I don't think so. It didn't look like it.
Something worse that I found in this show was the very first episode. Now I like the scene, but when the pirates are boarding that fucking cargo vessel, the outside spacesuit guys that like jettison over and put bombs on the cannon, that looks worse than Jude Law pulling up to the vault, in my opinion.
Yeah, that didn't look great. That felt quicker because it's during an action scene, so there's a bunch of shit going on. This was like the focus.
I mean, other than these 3 things that we're kind of nitpicking on, I mean, at least it looked good going through that maelstrom. That looked really fucking good, and that's where it needed to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like these are just. I'm going to point out the negatives too because we've been pretty much gushing about the show the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm still
a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, we're not just standing it though. Like we're giving criticisms. It's really well done.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This is a show, not a movie. Like that's where it is apparent to me. Yes, they spent a lot of. Dude, did you hear how much it's costing for Andor season 2? No. It is the most expensive Disney thing. I think it did well over $400 million.
Why so much?
Well, 12 episodes.
Oh,
and that's correct this time. I've said that about this before. 12 episodes. And if they're doing the same thing they did for season 1, they built full on sets and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's not all CG shit. They built most of
that
town.
This is off topic as we never do here, but yeah, Andor's season 2 has the potential. Sorry, not going to. It has the potential to please more Star Wars fans than ever at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
People were united about Andor, the show. I mean, Rogue One, which we're going to do on here very fucking soon.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a couple guests on, aren't you?
Yeah. Stay tuned for that. But
I won't be there.
Well, you might want to be in the room. It's going to be a fucking riot.
You know I will be. I will be eating popcorn watching you guys.
But Rogue One united the fandom because at that point, and maybe every point, it's the best thing Disney's done with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the best thing Star Wars has. I think it's the best thing Star Wars has done with Star Wars, aside from like the original trilogy. Period.
Yeah, and maybe even just 4. It might be better than episode 6. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it is. But
I mean, if the Ewoks were Wookiees like they were supposed to be, I'd be singing a different tune. But no, that's it for this. You know what? We didn't get the episode I thought we did. It was a 28-minute episode without the front and back part of it. And
yeah, I saw that the runtime. I saw that the runtime was 37 minutes. Well, that's including all the credits and stuff. And last week's was 34, so it's just barely longer. There was one more thing.
There was one more thing.
There was one more thing at the end. The parents arrive on the hover lift. There's a heartfelt
reunion. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Whitney cried again. And then you hear Carrie Condon saying to Fern, she's like, I was so worried about you. What happened? And Jod comes walking out and she gives him a look because he had told them, don't fucking say anything or I'll kill your whole family.
Even if you think about saying anything.
Yeah. And she looks up at him and he looks at her and there's like a long pause and he pulls out the lightsaber. And that's the end of the episode. So.
And it's just like, so I'm thinking it's definitely going to end on a cliffhanger. Especially, it's feeling like they're going to do that, like the next episode.
But they have to wrap something up. I understand the cliffhanger.
One thing will be wrapped up.
Like, which one do you think is going to get wrapped up?
The supervisor.
Yeah? Okay.
I think we're going to meet the supervisor the next episode, but I think it's going to be a huge cliffhanger dealing with Jod and the supervisor.
Okay.
And this is a good timing for this because we just wrapped up the episode. I literally just got a notification of a comment on YouTube from episode 5, which is the last one that we posted.
Ooh.
Like 44 seconds ago, it says this comment was posted
live and direct.
Drew R9, and you may know who this person is. I don't, and I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, but he says my theory is that Gilad Pelion, I don't know, is the supervisor, and he's like, I just wanted to post it somewhere in case I'm right. Love the show, keep them coming. Can't wait to watch tomorrow.
Well, thank you. What's his name again?
Pelion.
Their name?
The name is Drew R9.
Thanks, Drew R9.
I believe that Pelion is the from Mandalorian, one of the remnant. What do you call it? Like the Galactic Remnant Warlords, the Shadow Council. That's the fucking name that served Moff Gideon. I could be wrong. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, it looks like. Oh, in a cartoon, he was played by Xander Berkeley. But here's a picture. Looks like it's probably from an older movie. But I'll see if the thing, because I don't have time to load it into the thing. But that's the guy that came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it says he was a dedicated human male naval officer serving for 7 decades in the fleets of the Galactic Republic, Galactic Empire, Imperial Remnant, and Galactic Alliance, and rose to the position of Supreme Commander for the latter 2 governments. And
so
this thing says he just went into hiding along with other Imperial loyalists and formed the Secret Shadow Council, like you said. Consisted of remnant Imperial warlords wanted by the Republic. Oh, and in this picture, it's animated, so it's from a comic or something. He's hanging out with Thrawn there.
Oh yeah.
So
I think I have that comic. Wes gave me like 4 or 5 of those Thrawn comics I have to get to.
But yeah, so thank you, Drew R9, for commenting just in time.
Yeah, dude, perfect.
And look at that. You comment and you get read online.
So yeah, I mean, that's the end of the episode. Obviously, I feel like it goes without saying, but everybody is still intrigued.
I'm on the edge of my fucking seat, dude.
Starting with our guest, Whitney, what do you want from the last episode? I guess you kind of said it, but if you want to expand upon that, you said you want to reveal for the supervisor.
I'm hoping that we at least get a reveal for the supervisor. I feel like there's going to be, maybe Jod actually knows who the supervisor is. If the supervisor is not just a program, that is. I want something between Wim and his father.
Okay.
Like something fucking explained why his father's, or maybe it is just because he's a widower and does not know how to raise his son. His wife did everything.
Maybe he's a little autistic and doesn't know how to connect to humans like me.
Yeah. I mean, we posed a couple different theories about the mom, but it could just be that she's dead. It doesn't have to be a big mystery. It could just be, she's gone. Derek, what do you kind of need from this next episode?
Kind of similar. I'm really hoping they at least wrap up this At Attin thing so we find out who the supervisor is. We conclude that this whole adventure. I feel like what's going to happen is maybe Jod gets taken into custody with them or something, and that's going to be left hanging.
Okay.
Because they're obviously not going to. They can't just. I mean, he can't just be like, "Well, I saved your kids, so now everybody loves me again." After all the terrible shit he just did to them,
Right?
I mean, he's literally tried to leave them for dead more than once in the last couple
fucking
episodes.
blade to what's her name's throat. He's had a lightsaber at all 4 of them.
Yeah, he's got a lightsaber out right now to the whole family, like all of them. So, but I really just want to see the end of. I want to find out who the supervisor is, finish up this At Attin story, and then hopefully, if we get a season 2, it's just like a continuing adventure of the Onyx Cinder.
Dude, I hope the kids get to keep the ship.
Yeah, well,
and I really want Smee to come back.
It belongs to the planet, so that's what I need. I need Smee to come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's one more thing. I think that's one more thing that'll happen is he'll be gone the whole episode, but during the wrap up when they're tying up the storylines and doing their multiple endings you have to do to tie everything up, one of them is going to be KB's parents fixing Smee.
I fucking hope
because it's KB's mom who is putting together the
You're right.
satellite thing they sent out because they're the tech ones. So sorry, go ahead.
No. I definitely want Smee to come back. When he got his head chopped off and the little fucking mouse thing came out, for a second I thought Jod was going to step on the mouse, and I'm like, that makes you irredeemable. Like that you can chop off a robot's head, that's fine, but if you step on this beautiful little mouse thing, I will come at you with the strength of 1,000 Mon Calamari's.
I'm going to come at you, Jude Law, with a gun made from human bones that shoots teeth.
That's right. We've talked about that weird ass movie. But no, I want, like, greedily, I want everything. I want it to all just be, I want like a 3-hour finale that wraps up everything and we know Jod's passed. But ideally, I need the supervisor wrapped up. And I want the pirates to be dealt with. And maybe, like Derek said, Jod's in custody, or maybe he escapes on his own. I think we have plans for this fucking show. I think we can easily connect this to Ahsoka. I'm not done believing that one of these kids will exhibit some force sensitivity. I kind of thought it was going to be Fern when Jod had the lightsaber at them. And he's like, what are you going to fucking do? I was like, oh, dude, if she just gave out a little like force push right now, I wouldn't be shocked, and I would have gotten a little like a little ooh, woo.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate it at all.
I think we have big plans for that, and I hope I'm right. And I hope that Derek is mostly wrong about. Well, you didn't click on the article, but I hope that article's wrong, and there's more people that love this than hate it. It's not the Acolyte.
I mean, that's the only thing I've seen so far that referenced people saying negative stuff. Most of the comments and things that I have seen were positive. It's just, the Acolyte made it so I stopped reading anything about what people think.
Yeah,
agreed. So that's, I mean, if Reddit's any sort of barometer for the temperature of the climate for this fandom, it's mostly positive.
Okay.
And Reddit's pretty toxic usually. So
yeah, I mean, they're the ones who wrote episode 9. So
shame on you. Shame.
But so that's it for this week's episode. Next week we have the conclusion, episode 8, and hopefully a bunch of action and craziness, and
I'm hoping
we'll see what happens.
Episode, baby.
That'll make us have to do like a 4-hour episode because we'll be talking and going off topic. So
yes, bring snacks and Gatorades. And whiskey.
I'll be up until 5 in the morning editing.
We got the whiskeys.
1,139 volts. That's how many volts Jod had to have.
Have a good week. I'm Derek.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Whitney.
Go find your own vault.
Wizard.
You wanna kiss the girl.
La 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 la, Mayo, Mayo.